Good morning and welcome to Business Morning on Business Day TV. My name is Deborah Eze.
And I'm Destiny Momo.
Thank you for starting your day with us. All right, let's move to the first conversation for today. Nigeria's food inflation continues to bite, rising to 21.97% on year-to-year in June 2025, with some states seeing food prices surge for above the national average. Borno State leads the pack with a staggering 47.4% food inflation, while Ebonyi State and Bayelsa also posted steep spikes. But it's not just about annual trends. States like Enugu, Kwara, and Rivers saw the sharpest month-on-month increase, with prices jumps nearing 12% in just 1 month. What's driving these sharp differences across regions? Are insecurity, flooding, and logistics to blame, or are market dynamics shifting in ways that demand urgent policy response? To unpack the story behind the numbers, we are being joined by Olusegun Okunade. He is a policy and economic analyst. Good morning, and thank you so much for joining us
Good
this morning.
morning.
Yeah, good morning,
Thank you for
Debbie.
joining
Good
us.
morning, Destiny.
Good morning.
I refer to you as DD. I'm a very great way to start the week.
As
Good
always.
morning to all our viewers across the globe. Glad to be here this morning.
Good morning. All right, let's start with our food inflation drivers. Now, despite headline inflation declining for the third straight time this month, food inflation continues to bite harder, and I'm talking about states in Benue, Nasarawa, and also Sokoto. So, what explains this divergence, and what are we missing in the inflation narrative?
Thank you very much. A very good question. Let me start by saying some of the states that you have actually mentioned in this thing speaks to the states where we get some of the food that the country on their own actually produce. If you go to Benue, you know their slogan is that they are the food basket of the nation. Talked about Nasarawa, talked about Sokoto. Predominantly, their means of livelihood is agricultural produce. But there has been a particular factor that has impeded the actualization of some of these things. Insecurity, one. You discover that this insecurity has created a lot of people to be internally displaced from where they reside and where they are supposed to work. So rather than them working to actually contribute to the bottom line in doing what they are known for in doing, we discover that they are just wasting away in the IDP. Because why do I say wasting away? A lot of them desire to work, but when the security is not guaranteed on their deliverables, they tend to just stay back. It's about your life first before you talk about making money. And this has created a key factor in actually creating food inflation. And if you permit me to ask, the former elders clergies is still not behind the scene. And the failure of other states, integrating into it, I've asked question why, as a nation, other regions that have vast land cannot venture into agricultural produce when they have the capacity to do it. But we tend to do more of residential and commercial activity. I think this is the bottom line because food is key, it's fundamental to the growth and survival of human beings. And with what we are experiencing in terms of insecurity and the challenges of deficit infrastructure is a very germane thing that is actually increasing this month in, month out, most especially in the states where these things are supposed to be produced.
Regional disparities. Why are states in the middle belt and the north, why are they bearing heaviest brunt of these food prices hike?
Yeah, they are and they will, in the sense that, when they have the availability to produce some of these things, or even the few that they are actually producing, an average businessman wants to actually sell off to make more money rather than providing that even for his household. I'm sure you know it's a practical thing that everybody run after money, not about the welfare of their neighbors or even their citizens. So you discover that even the fuel that is actually being produced by few people that are venturing into this in that region, they prefer to sell to the south or to the east, where they feel that they can generate little funds to continue to sustain the business. And that's what is actually impacting. Before now, you have more supply because you have a lot of people who are actually in the business of agriculture that they know best to handle. But as we speak, few people are actually doing it. And rather than providing it, because they know that the purchasing power of their people in their locals are very low, they will rather want to sell it to people like you and I, who they consider as having the purchasing power to buy some of these things. And that on its own will create an high cost when it comes to the food in those regions where they're actually being produced.
What specific commodities are seeing the highest spike in this high burden states, and what does that tell us when it comes to our food supply chain?
Yeah, maybe if you permit me, I know the likes of uh, uh, pepper, tomatoes, wheat, some of these things has actually gotten that high spike in the prices. Don't forget the availability of some of these pepper and tomatoes is seasonal. We are in the rainy season and we are faced with the issue of flooding in some of the areas where some of these things are supposed to be produced. So the availability of it is quite tense. And that's why you're seeing that we are entering into the era, which is you see year in, year out. I know you ladies will speak more to that, where people will start using tin tomatoes as against using the normal tomato to provide for the food that they need to eat, where you buy just five or four commodity, four pepper for as high as 2,000, 3,000. It's the season. When you have so much flooding and during rainy season, there seems to be spike. And that's why most of the time we have actually requested that the government should make available preservatives where some of these things, when they are produced, can be preserved for future use. This is what is obtainable in the developed climate, which we are currently lacking and impacting on our food chain supply as we speak.
Okay, so how much of this um, food inflation can be directly linked to farmer headers clash? The displacement and rural insecurity in food producing zones. How much of it can you say is being directly, what's the percentage?
It's huge. I'll give it up to like 70 to 80% because it's in the public discourse. Don't forget the massacre killing that happened in Benue that even attract the president to visit the states. We've had so much killing in Plateau also. But no, it's not set out of this particular thing. And you keep hearing of the increase. I've not read in the news where some of those that are internally displaced who are the IDP were had to return back to their base with the guarantee of safety. They are still there and they keep increasing. Benue was not like this before now, but you know, the last few months, it has drawn the attention of the world on the incessant killing. Same in Plateau, same in other northern part of the country that is considered to be the food basket of the nation. The disheartening thing there is that in issues like this, it should be a collective work where other governors who consider agriculture as the fulcrum of growth of our economy should have invested more in it. We have vast land in the south here, I keep saying it, that can grow one or two things that can definitely contribute to the bottom line. But we rather choose to go the aspect of white collar job because a lot of people are not attracted to the business because it lacks the mechanized way of actually doing it. And these are areas we are actually calling the government to actually work upon, attracting the young and the youth. I remember those years when we had a governor in Lagos State where some of those miscreants are actually being taken to the farm to carry out one or two things. These are areas where we should concentrate on. When you have surplusity of food one thing is guaranteed, that definitely the price will definitely go down, and people will not concentrate more on other areas to do, because when you have enough to consume, you concentrate more on other things that you need to do. But when the prices are actually high, it stresses you and actually reduce your purchasing power as an individual. But as we speak, a lot of people use more than 70 to 80%, if not 90%, of what they are actually getting as income on food, which is not supposed to be.
All right, still on agricultural production and food security. We are witnessing a structural collapse, if I do say so myself. Now let's look at the productivity in regions like Benue and Plateau. Do you think it's just a seasonal thing or it's a total collapse?
I won't say a total collapse, and it's not seasonal. It's a problem that we inflicted on ourselves as humans, with the level of insecurity and greed. Because most of the issues you see here are communal clashes, because people lack understanding of what it should be, and because some certain set of people, because of their personal greed, tends to attack one another. These areas where we are having this unrest, you ask yourself, they have lived with one another for several years without any iota of without any differences, creating this unrest that we are currently experiencing. It's to take the bull by the horn that the federal government needs a situation where, as much as we claim currently that we have more money in the hands of the state government, we should be able to release the security architecture and management in the hands of this state government, so that they take responsibility. They will be able to in tune decentralize it, take it to the local government level, from the local government level to regions within each of the local government, to see how they tame this at the board. A lot of this unrest happened at the suburb, where we always consider as the basket where we consider this agricultural produce. If you go to the urban area in some of these states, you will see the unrest, you will see the peaceful nature in that area. It is in the locals, and that's why we must concentrate more in making sure that we create security. And until we decentralize it, let's take it off the federal circuit, empower the state, which at this current time we claim have so much money, so that they can empower the local government to the local area. The traditional rulers are there. Give them marching order as you give to the military on how to make sure that their areas are secured. And with this, we can have a guarantee of people carrying on their business without any fear or any favor, but to make sure that they contribute to the bottom line of the economic growth of our nation.
How effective have state level interventions been? Now the question is, are subnational governments doing enough to stabilize food availability in their own jurisdiction?
To me, I would say they are not doing that much. Why? The first area you need to consider is how to secure the people. And if you look at the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, as entrenched in Section 14, subsection 1, the primary responsibility of the government is to provide security of lives and property, and also the welfare of the citizen we claim we are actually leading. So I would say that a lot of state government, and they hide under the level that they are not under the control of security. If a state is not secure, it's difficult for such states to grow. It's difficult for such states to provide infrastructure that will structurally grow that arm of what they know how to do best. You can imagine if a state governor decides to build a silo where you provide food, and these miscreants, these people that attack infrastructure, decide to set fire on it. We are like 10 steps backward, because a lot of investment that have actually been put into that particular thing considered to be waste. And that's why we keep saying that it's fundamental that we must take the issue of security, very much important, so that even when you build the structure, when you build the infrastructure, some of those things can last longer even than your existence as the current governor of that particular state, which you create a relief and bring growth. You can imagine if there is peace in Benue, A lot of people will live here, want to go to that particular area, invest the resources that they have so that they can. A lot of that are actually happening, and it even be a challenge to some of the states that have land. You go there, learn, and come and replicate such, and we have surplusity of food. So if you ask me, because of the failure of insecurity in some of these states and the current architecture we have, the states are not doing enough, because if they are doing so much, we will be able to take the security above, and whatever infrastructure they invest in, we can see it, living longer than their own time, or the period at which they created those things.
All right, so let's look at the future outlook. Given the current trends and situation, do you foresee inflation easing at any time? Now I'm talking about the third quarter and the fourth quarter going forward.
Yeah, well, because a lot that has actually been carried out in the area of support for this agricultural thing and not to me properly managed. We still have diversion of funds in some areas. Remember the last administration, a lot was actually invested. And I think that by now, we should be enjoying so much availability of some of these food produce. But what we have seen is that we've been having inflation increasing on monthly basis compared to the preceding year. I feel that government needs to be intentional if this must come down. And the area I will continue to focus on is the area of security. When the area is secured, those that are internally displaced can get back to their business. Didi, I can ask this question. If there is unrest in our state as we speak, as professional that are supposed to be on this call this morning in your office, will you be available to carry out your duty? The answer is no.
Yeah.
And that's why we feel that a lot of businesses are actually growing in some region because of the secured environment or the security that they are enjoying. And that's why we are putting it before the government that they should try as much as possible to provide the security and make those that are internally displaced get back to the business. This is what, in fact, a lot of people have said that the current situation will continue to increase our population. Because when you don't engage in any activity than just to be seeing your spouses and be looking at one another, all you continue to do is to be producing more children that will not actually have anything to do. You can imagine those years, you produce these children and you engage them in farming, even when they are not going to school, and they contribute to the bottom line of the economic growth. But as we speak, a lot of them are not even being engaged in some of these things, and it's really not. So for me, I don't see any improvement coming in time, in the sense that security must be given priority for infrastructure that is actually being developed by the government to actually work. If you give so much money to people, they will divert it and hide under that insecurity and will not get the desired result that is expected of it.
All right. So finally, sir, as a risk analyst that you are, a financial risk analyst, what do you think, is the most underreported threat to Nigeria's food security? And now that we're not yet talking enough about the most underreported food security that we're not really hitting hard on. Can you help us analyze on that a little bit before we go, sir?
Yeah, the area that we are not actually addressing is expanding the scope. Every state, it's equipped with vast land to produce for the states where they are. And I will continue to say this. A lot of people might say, oh, our land cannot produce this. Where do we now make use of comparative advantage? You can imagine if it's in the south, we can grow maybe rice, we can grow maybe beans, and the other states are producing pepper. We can have an exchange to say, okay, I will produce this and bring to the bottom line, and you'll be able to contribute. A lot of state government are really not intentional in the area of this agricultural produce. And that's why we give kudos to Lagos State government. He understands the plight of not having vast land to actually carry agricultural produce. And he has actually made available funds in collaboration with states that are actually interested. And that was what he launched, I think, last week, of over $500 billion in area of food creation, in such a way that people can avail themselves of some of these funds. But an area that I consider also monitor critically is monitoring such funds that are actually being disbursed to make sure that funds disbursed for agricultural produce are not used in actually getting to the village back to go and marry more wives or thinking that you have arrived. Proper monitoring also assists to avert the risk of actually going back to status quo when you think that you're actually creating a leverage of excusing or coming out of the food inflation. We must monitor properly even when we disburse funds and they provide security that is expected in all the states. Let other states that have this other land also go into agricultural produce as against this development in area of building houses that people cannot even afford. It's when you eat, you think about getting an accommodation for yourself. And don't forget, amidst the Abraham Maslow hierarchy, one of the basic things that you consider is food, security, and shelter. Shelter is good, but food is fundamental. It's when you eat that you can consider having a good network, a good shelter to provide yourself. And security plays a key role in meeting the other two at the bottom level of Abraham Maslow law to make sure that you have the good food expected and the shelter provided for yourself.
Thank you so much, Mr. Olusegun Kunade. He is a policy and economic expert. Thank you for your time this morning.
Appreciate your time, sir. Have a great day.
Thank you very much. It's always beautiful to start the week with the DD, and I wish all our viewers very wonderful week.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. We'll go on a quick break now. When we come back, the second part of our conversation on business money. Welcome back to Business Money. Now let's move on to our second conversation for today.
So, interior design in Nigeria is a growing sector and is reflecting both traditional cultural influences and also modern trends. The industry is seeing increased investment in residential and also commercial spaces, which is leading to a demand for skilled interior designers. Nigerian designers are also competing with international brands, and they are also contributing significantly to the nation's GDP through local production and services. Traditional Nigerian design incorporates elements like tribal art, woven textiles, and also vibrant colors, drawing inspiration from diverse ethnic groups such as the Yoruba, Igbo, and Hausa.
Interior design is viewed as a significant contributor to Nigeria's economy, which local designers potentially replacing foreign companies and boosting the GDP through local production, tax revenue, and faster turnaround times. While the industry is growing, challenges remain, including a lack of awareness about the importance of professional interior design services, power issues, and the need for sustainable and multi-generational design practices.
Joining us to exhume the high influence of interior design to Nigeria's economy is Dr. Victory Njoku, CEO and also Creative Director, Vicky Heldan Interior Design.
Good morning, and thank you for joining us this beautiful morning.
Good morning.
So good to have you join us here and good business morning this morning.
So let's look at how interior design has evolved over the past decade in terms of economic contribution. How would you say it has evolved?
Over the years, I would tell you one thing for sure is that the awareness is brewing and the industry is growing as well, because we have a lot of creative individuals from artisans to design professionals as well in the country that has really honed their skills over the years. And I believe that in a few years' time, it will be something to really reckon with in the country. So I can tell you that it's growing for sure. The industry is growing.
All right, can you speak to any data or even trends that show the financial value that interior design adds to the Nigerian economy?
Okay, yes. I think between 2023 and 2024, it was stated that the GDP of the the interior design industry has contributed greatly to the GDP of Nigeria. I think about 1.8 billion dollars in a year.
Wow.
In terms of manufacturing, furniture manufacturing, decorative art, as well as designers as well, the people that creatives.
All right. So now
Interior designers.
let's look at the sectors in Nigeria that are benefiting most or are being influenced most by the by professional interior design services. Which of the
Okay,
okay?
yeah, I would tell you this for sure. Interior design has I think has been really, really effective in the hospitality sector, healthcare sector, as well as real estate. Most importantly, yes, real estate and retail because this is a way of creating. It's been infused to create a conducive and environment for clients as well as the business owners to thrive, which is geared towards boosting the economy at the end of the day.
All right. So, how has interior design contributed to job creation and entrepreneurship in Nigeria?
Oh, it has contributed greatly to job creation because we have had a number of businesses that have established factories, employed artisans, trained them as well. Because for us, for what we are doing, for what our company is doing right now is education. So we are doing more education and educating more creative individuals on how to create sustainable creative business, especially interior designers, project managers, architectural designers, furniture manufacturers. We're doing that with our platform known as the Mastery with Vicky Helden platform and the business. So the event is called the Business of Interior Design Masterclass, where individuals come to hone their skills. And we believe that with more platforms, we are able to create awareness and impact the knowledge needed to build bold, scalable, and sustainable interior design businesses. Yeah.
All right,
that would add to the economy, and this would boost the economy down the line.
Okay, now that leads to my next question. Let's look at the economic advantage critically. Now, do you think the interior space brings Nigeria to the real estate market, economic wise? Do you think?
Yeah, economic wise, it has added value to the real estate market because I feel like people are getting aware, individuals are getting aware, and as urbanization transcends from one level to another, we are experiencing awareness, and it's brewing more middle class individuals and creating awareness within them to understand that they need a more aesthetically pleasing and functional environments to thrive. So I believe down the line, with more awareness and more ideology building this industry, we understand that it would push the economy better and it would improve the Nigerian economy because urbanization is taking place in different states across from the southeast, southwest, the north, central, all of that. It's going fast, and we believe that. I mean, it would grow. It would grow at the end of the day.
So, do you believe interior design can enhance property valuation and even investment appeal? If you think so,
yeah, it
why?
can.
Yeah.
It can down the line. Like I said before, the awareness is brewing up, and people are understanding that they need to create an atmosphere and a conducive environment, and and a functional environment, most importantly. So it's actually growing. I believe that in a few years down the line, it would be highly impactful. The industry would really stand out because the awareness is brewing up, and we're optimistic about it.
All right.
Yes.
We hope that it actually stand out at the end. But what are the challenges in the interior design business right now in regards to the
There are a whole
economy?
lot. There are a whole lot
Yeah.
of challenges. There are a whole lot of challenges. We encounter challenges with production because we are not able to. We haven't trained more artisans to in the field of this business. That's a challenge. We have individuals who are already in the industry who are coming out. I mean, that's a challenge as well. But then we have to see how the government can synergize with the private sectors who are doing what they can do to improve production for, I mean, production-wise, furniture, all of that. Train people, train artisans, train creative individuals in this field, so we have more skilled hands to produce more items
All
for the
right.
industry
Okay,
as
you,
well
you,
as
you said
yeah.
earlier that there are master classes for interior design. So now you just spoke about artisans and there not
Yeah.
being enough artisans. So the master
Yes.
classes that the interior designers do, don't they, accommodate trainings for artisans so they can accommodate the number of developments you guys can cover as interior designers in
Yeah,
Nigeria?
so what it is that we are focused on the core. So let's say now you're a manufacturer. So whatever it is you come to learn or whatever knowledge you will impact into you, you take it back to your factory or to your production house to infuse that into your staffs. So I mean, when you make impact, it grows. You understand? It grows. So let's say a manufacturer comes in and takes part in a masterclass on how to build structure into their business as well as identifying their niche and all of that. They go back to their factories and execute this plans accordingly.
Okay.
So
Okay.
that's what we basically do.
Do you think the business of interior design has a place in the global markets, or is it just a Nigerian thing or African thing?
No, it has a place in the local market because I tell you one thing for sure. The interior design industry is contributing about, I mean, in Africa, is contributing about $30 billion to the African economy yearly. And I'll tell you one thing for sure, that interior design is essential because at the end of the day, you're creating a conducive environment. You're creating that would actually boost business and economy of an environment. So one way or the other, it is highly imperative. It's highly imperative. It's important, and it's growing, and we're very optimistic, and we're very hopeful that even the government would actually synergize and collaborate with individuals like us that are trying to make the economy that are trying to boost the industry for a better economic growth.
All right,
So I believe so, yeah.
So finally, how can the industry be positioned to contribute to Nigeria's non-oil export economy? What are those local products that we have that can be sent out there in the global markets, so to speak?
Okay, we have from in the interior design in the world of interior design for Africa, especially Nigeria, we have home fragrances, we have all of that, natural fragrances from woods. We have a lot of woods here, and we have beautiful artifacts that are made, artworks that could be valued at a great amount once it's exported, because I mean, art is a big deal across the world. And furnitures as well. We have good furnitures. We have good wood here that could be processed. And also, I'm even saying that investors should start coming in, and the government should start seeing how they can create incentives for investors that are investing in the creative sector, especially the design sector. Yeah.
All right.
So where do you see the interior design business in the next 5 years? Well, let's instead of 5 years, let's look at the third quarter and fourth quarter of this year. Where do you see the interior design business?
Oh, I see it growing. I see it because I tell you one thing for sure. It's about creativity, and it's about having something outstanding from the norm. So I say from the hospitality sector, I believe there will be a transformative growth and impact. The interior design industry is going to be really impactful, especially in the hospitality as well as the retail sector, because I believe that people want conducive environment. They want an environment that they can relate to, and I believe it's growing, and it's going to be really really because with the awareness that is going on right now and the efforts that is being put in place, I believe it's going to be a good one,
All right.
and we're
So we've been
yes.
talking to Dr. Victory Njoku, CEO and Creative
Yes.
Director, Vicky Heldon's group. Thank you so much for your time. We
Thank
really do
you. Thank you
appreciate.
too. Thank you for your time.
Thank you so
All right, we'll
much.
go on a
Thank you for
quick
having
break.
me.
We'll go on a quick break
Yes.
now. When we come back, we have more for you. Stay with us. All right, the conversations today we're budging around food inflation and also the business of interior design in Nigeria. And I'm just going to give my take on the food inflation, while Destiny would give her take on the interior design business, because I'm sure you have so much love for interior design. So for me, I think the only solution to the food inflation is obviously to curb insecurity, to curb flooding, and for people who are bearing the brunt of food inflation, we have to, like, get strategic solutions for them. That's like the only solution to it. And I think Nigeria should actually do more mitigation farming rather than what we are doing now. So we don't have to like wait for other states to actually produce food. And when there's like a problem in that state, everyone has to like bear the brunt of it. So I think that's like the solution, or else food inflation is still going to remain a sharp bite when it comes to Nigeria and the economy. So that's just my take.
All right, so my take on interior designs adding to Nigeria's economy, Nigeria's GDP. We heard her when Dr. Njoku was talking. She made it clear that interior design brings about $30 billion into Africa's economy.
Are we sure about that figure?
We might still go about checking it, but
Okay.
I'm sure as an expert, she should know one or two, about that. And then the aspect of it adding to the non-oil exports. It's really good. Nigerians or even Africans, we are gifted with some artisans designs that even when you see it, like on my way to work, I saw a design on the roadside, local, but it's pouring water. It's like a water fountain. It was really beautiful, and that can really add to, you know, export markets and really bring so much to the Nigerian economy, if
Okay.
you ask me.
All right. That's too much that we can take on
Yeah.
Business Morning this morning. Thank you so much for your time, and thank you so much for joining us. My name is Deborah Eze.
And I'm Destiny Momo.
Keep
Thank you.
watching Business Day Television.